You know, someone just asked, I don't know if I'm indoctrinated or not. Well, I can answer that for you very easily. Are you alive? Because everybody's indoctrinated by something. My only piece of advice on this is what you are indoctrinated by helping you? Think about it this way. You are only able to navigate the world with the knowledge that you have in your head. And a lot of people, and you will fight to the death to retain that worldview once it is there. You will do anything you can to try not to change that. It's really hard, even when you are aware that that is how your brain works, to stop it from doing that. It is just a natural bias in the mind. The mind wants to do what it is doing in order to survive. It just wants to keep doing that, like I just keep doing these videos. I really enjoy doing these videos, but that is because I've conditioned myself to enjoy to do these videos. You can end up conditioning yourself to enjoy anything, essentially. Now, that's how cults work. Everybody always thinks that, oh yeah, I would never go into a cult because I'm more susceptible, blah, 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 blah. Everybody thinks that they're just way better than they actually are mentally. Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever noticed that everybody always thinks that they're way better at fighting, despite the fact that most people don't even do martial arts, and other people think that they're much better at, like, yeah, I know when I'm getting scammed. And then we have the liberals in all the time. This is the way that the brain works. The brain just takes a piece of information, and this is something that I'm constantly fighting with my own audience. If they have been indoctrinated with a narrative, like nuclear power for instance, and that has reached them before I've reached them, instead of listening to the new information, they will just keep hammering the old talking points. You can explain why the talking point is a talking point. You can explain where the talking point is from. It doesn't matter. They will just keep regurgitating the indoctrination. Because once something is planted in your mind, once something becomes a worldview, your brain wants to keep that worldview at whatever cost. Isn't that terrifying? So I'm acutely aware of it. And it doesn't mean that I am remotely free of it either. That's what really scares me about humans, is that once they have a narrative inside their head, once they have a story, they continue on with that story. And it takes extreme circumstances a lot of the time to break it. You know, a classic example is the cult thing, because people lose family members to these things forever. Or they just completely change as a person because the indoctrination is there. The story has been changed in their head. But this is the main point that you really should be understanding about all of this, is everything in life is a story. Beliefs are stories. It's just, what stories are you telling yourself? If you're telling yourself, I can achieve anything, that is a better story than having a story of, the world's against me, it's a fucked capitalist system. You ever noticed that? Have you ever noticed that most of the, online political commentators that aren't paid for by the Koch brothers? But again, I find them far more tolerable a lot of the time. Despite the fact I agree with a hell of a lot less with them, I like them more as people. And it is because they just have a natural confidence in them, because that self-help usually is tied to that worldview of pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, which I do thoroughly believe in. I just have the other belief as well, which is that you can't do that as a society. That's not going to work, right? But as a person, as I'm always saying, that is how you should be looking at your life, that you should not be looking to anybody else to help. You should be looking to help other people, and then other people will help you by osmosis. And just see any assistance that you get in life as a bonus. That you are exactly where you were supposed to be with the effort and the options that you took at this world. That is a good, empowering worldview, because it means that you are in control of your destiny. And if you think you're in control of your destiny, you will be in control of your destiny. This is something that's incredible. Somebody that I really like, who's very close to me, was just saying that, you've just got survivor complex, or something like that. I can't remember what it is. They've always just got some little nifty label that they get online, that they, again, just to justify their own loserdom, I suppose. But anyway, he's a legend, but he's always saying that you got to where you are because you believe the stuff that is in self-help. Yes, that's exactly how it is. What don't other people see about this? Yes, The whole thing about self-help, when people say, it's a con, it's a scam, everything's a scam. Everything. Do you think that anything, even if somebody is an expert in a field like science, do you think that they have a specifically objective brain? Of course they don't. The classic one that everyone always uses is, say, scientists that are Christians. It's pretty hard to be a scientist that sits there thinking about the Big Bang all day and then also be like, yeah, but God might have done that as well. Not that I'm denigrating Christianity as a belief, because again, I think that it is an empowering belief. I do. I think that it actually makes you a better person. But this is what I'm saying. People have stories in their heads. Even somebody that is going with the Big Bang Theory, I'm sure that when, I'm not educated enough on it, but I'm sure that when you get to a certain point, you have to start guessing. And they're going to constantly train themselves in their own heads that scientists never guess. But the brain does. The brain is constantly looking for stories. It is constantly looking for things that, okay, if I just block out all of this information and focus on this, maybe I'll start living. Let's try. Let's just roll the craps. And then if you are in an environment where everybody else believes the same things, it's almost impossible, because where is the leverage? Usually the way that you are able to go in or out of a cult is, right, because you're just around a bunch of people that are saying, yeah, that man is half alien up there. That's why he gets to, have sex with everyone's wives in the commune, because he's the alien man. And it's just like, yeah, he seems just like an old guy. Are you sure he's a divine being? I told you, yes. Oh, okay. It's because everybody else around them was saying the same thing. Look, that's why I've made my entire life. What I find endlessly fascinating is red pills. As I've said before, the thing that I like doing is realizing, oh, I thought that the world was like this, and the world is like that. It's not the same as just someone being like, you're wrong, you're a spastic, you are a retard, you stupid cunt. Obviously, you're just going to go, oh, fuck yeah, because, again, that's how the mind works. But yeah, going back to that point, people like your Ben Shapiro's, people like, well, not Steven Crowder, he just seems like, man, I'd like to smack that guy, because, again, I think I'm awesome at fighting, and I could definitely beat Steven Crowder. He's annoying. But Ben Shapiro, for instance, seems to me to be probably a lot more tolerable human being to hang around than a bunch of those, like, bread tubers. I can't think of anything worse. There's very few people on planet Earth I would want to meet less than bread tubers. I would much rather meet serial killers. It'd be endlessly fascinating. Those people are horrible. And it is because their general worldview is that everything is about lack. Everything is about inadequacy. The world is unfair. Everyone's cheating them. It's based off this view that the world isn't fair and the world is bringing you down. Is that wrong? No. But is the other worldview wrong, that you can pull yourself up from your own bootstraps? Absolutely not. And every time I say that, I get people in the comments saying, you're just saying that everyone can pull themselves up from their own bootstraps? No, I'm not saying that they can, but if you develop a superior psychology, you absolutely can. I'm living proof of it. There are other people that I know that are living proof of it. Michael Cusack, another classic example of it. Working class family in Wollongong. Look at him now. He's an internationally renowned animator. He hangs around with fucking Justin Roiland. Why? Because he honed his craft. He worked at it. He didn't believe in the predetermined outlook of just like, yeah, your dad was a coal miner, so you're going to be a coal miner. He didn't have that worldview. And as a result of moving up from that class, he actually brings something interesting to a class that is usually filled with, my dad went to Harvard and got me a job at Cartoon Network. Right? But anyway, sorry, this is all just diverging from the fact that, no, you can't really ever tell if you're indoctrinated, except for to know that everybody is indoctrinated and everybody is in a cult. Everybody's in a cult of something. But what is the cult trying to do? What is the cult trying to do for you? It's a scary thought, isn't it? It does freak me out, I've got to say. Like, I really don't... Well, I do very much enjoy thinking about this. I think about it a lot. So I'm just going to withdraw everything I just said. I think it's awesome, but I think that it's also very important for you to remember is this actually making my life go this way, or is this making my life go that way? And if it is going this way, then the only thing that you can do is just look for answers. The only thing that you can do is look at your results in life and think, can these results go this way? How do I make the results go that way? And then you just start adopting beliefs around that to help you go up there. But just know, everything that is going through your mind is a story to some degree or another. Now, some of those would be completely insane and some would be a lot closer to objective reality, but they're all stories, aren't they? In fact, you know, something that I found very interesting about Friendly Geordies is ever since I started thinking more and more about stories, I've seen the comments change. And it is because it is just naturally going along with the human mind. So instead of the usual thing that I've did for like 7 years, which is just piece of information, react, piece of information, react, piece of information, react. It's going, no, what's the general theme here? What's the beginning, middle, and end? You're pushing it in the same thing. The dislike ratio in those videos goes down a lot. When do I have a big dislike ratio? When I am going against someone's narrative. Because you can see 99% of the criticisms is just repeat cookie cutter stuff that they've heard from some other Reddit site. And that's the other thing that I really, really hate about Reddit. Yeah? What I really despise about Reddit is they're all just tiny little cults, all of them. And it's so obvious and it's so inbred. And it's just like you're naturally moving yourself into that. Why? Why do that? Zoom out. At least go to something that's a little more intelligent, right? At least go to something that's like a book. Imagine all the time that you waste on all of these stupid little cults like Facebook groups and Reddit pages where there's just not going to be that many intelligent people. There can't be. There might be some smart people on Reddit. There might be some smart Reddit pages, but because the vast majority of people aren't smart, it is just a bunch of dumb people reinforcing their little stories. All you can really do is just look at people who have spent 20 years looking at something and say, look, after looking at this extensively for 20 years, I now think this. It's a really sobering thought. It does scare me a lot. How do you get into that? How do you get out of it? Well, if you found that helpful, and I don't think that you did because it is just by definition unhelpful. Actually, I will say this though. I do think that it is very helpful to understand that everything that you are into is a cult, right? So if you're really into fitness, that is the cult of fitness. If you're really into Mario, that is the cult of Mario. The stuff that you are into after that, like you'll just go straight onto YouTube. What's the thing that you'll think? Because your brain's just thinking, Mario. You're just going to type in Mario, aren't you? Or fitness, I'll go in there. And then I'll argue about, nah, bros, it should be quads and tries, same day. Yeah? Anyway, those are my thoughts on the matter. If you liked that, sign up to the Jordan Shanks channel. Definitely not a cult there. But again, that's what I'm saying. I swear to God, this is my personal belief anyway, that me, personally, is helping you. But you have probably seen that with real world results. In fact, interestingly, I just walked past somebody today and I was just incanting in my mind. And sorry that I was just I was in my own world. I do this a lot actually. But this guy came up to me and he just goes, see, you're also doing a morning walk, mate? And then there was just a little like, thanks, mate, thanks, wink, and then just moving on with the day. That guy is in a much better position than all of the sleepy people that I saw lining up for a coffee that day. Give that coffee money to me so I can give you something better, which is you don't need the coffee. You need to get up, walk around for half an hour in the sunlight, come back, feel energized, get ready for the day. That's what the Jordan Shanks membership is all about. It is just giving you those reminders so you develop those habits that make your life move up. Look at the comments. In this comment thread, I can guarantee you there will be a bunch of people in here that have said, I started listening to this channel 2 years ago, my life has changed. You get more of that if you sign up to the Jordan Shanks channel. More changes. Anyway, thank you for your time.